Welcome to the Wealth Project Podcast. Join us as we take the journey from employee to entrepreneur. Now your hosts, Sergio Suarez and Marcos Suarez.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Wealth Project Podcast. I'm your host, Sergio Suarez. Alongside me is co-host Marcos Suarez. And today we want to talk a little bit about 5 ways to use social media to grow your business. So I guess, Marco, you're going to start with number 1.
Yeah, and before we start here, I just want to apologize to people who were expecting our podcast to be out last week. We just both got really busy, and that's life when you're not doing your business full time. Sometimes other things take priority. So we will have possibly 2 episodes this week if we're not too busy again. We'll see. So without further ado, let's just dive right into this one. And so, as Serge has mentioned, there's going to be 5 ways that you want to use social media to grow your business. And we talk about this one all the time. And the number 1 way is to use social media to drive traffic. Again, in previous episodes, I've talked about the population of social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. And Facebook and Instagram, just those 2 platforms alone have over 3 billion users, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right, Serge?
Yeah. I think when we did the research last time, I think we said about 2.7 or 2.8 billion on Facebook alone, and then probably easily another billion, if not more, on Instagram.
Yeah. So as you can tell, it's a good chunk of the world's population are on social media, and it's just a good way to drive traffic to your business. You can provide valuable content, which we talk about. We'll touch a little bit more on that in a little bit. We'll touch more on that in another point coming up here. Sorry. And you want to use Facebook basically advertising just to target your best potential customers. I mean, with the tools available on Facebook, there's such an easy method to selecting the right customers, as we always talk about. You don't have to, go and advertise to your friends and family like the traditional methods. Social media really has just changed the game completely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've talked about this in previous episodes, Marco, where, I really dug into the power behind Facebook advertising. I mean, the way Facebook works is it's different from Google, and with the way they allow you to target your audience. I mean, you can pick anywhere from the age range, if you want to target just males, females, or if you people that read Entrepreneur Magazine or read whatever, Good Housekeeping, whatever the magazine is, you can target directly to those people, and it's so powerful. And if you own a business and you haven't got into Facebook advertising or even Google advertising, but we're not talking about Google right now, we're talking about social media. You've got to get on board. It's really a quick, it's a way to get more quick results. And I would say it's quicker than SEO, because SEO takes time. So, it's kind of something that can be done in tandem, right? So at the same time, so while you're building your SEO, you could build your social media, you can have your social media advertising giving you more of those immediate results.
And yeah, that's a huge point that you brought up with the SEO. I mean, SEO is a great tool because it's free, basically, if you want to learn it. But the thing is, it's so complex and it does take time. It could take months and years to actually generate traffic that way. Whereas you can do it immediately, like Sergio said, using social media. But one of the things that, how do you utilize social media to drive that traffic? And that's going to be in point 2, which Sergio will talk about.
Yeah. And before I start with point 2, one way I explain it to people is when you're using social media, there's a funnel. There's a funnel to business. And when it starts at social media, and then they find, your website, and then they turn into a potential customer, that's very powerful. It's a very powerful funnel, and it works really well. So, like I said, if you're not on, Facebook, or if you're not on social media yet, it's definitely something to look into. But that being said, like Marco said, it kind of leads us into my next topic, and that's to use video to keep your customers engaged. Video is growing, and it's growing rapidly. YouTube is the second largest search engine, only next to Google. And of course, it's owned by Google. So, Google owns the 2 top search engines out there. So that's pretty powerful.
Isn't that just like a great marketing technique, is to be your number one competitor, your own number one competitor for search engines?
That's right. I think we talked about that in one of our last episodes where
yeah, I think we touched on it basically.
Yeah, that's amazing. They're their own competitors. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is people love watching video, and Facebook has even realized that. And so has Instagram. And I'll explain why in each one. I mean, Facebook has a platform that basically you can do just like YouTube, where you can edit videos and load them, and they're really focusing on video. So if you're advertising, so even in advertising, it's better to have video ads than it is to have image ads now, because Facebook is trying to they'll target those ads more often. It's easier to have more reach through video ads. So that's one way. And then with Instagram, they're actually using what's called IGTV. So they created that so that you can create longer videos. I mean, it started with Instagram stories, but then they moved quickly into IGTV to have kind of the longer, because Instagram stories has kind of a limited video reach or length. Sorry.
Okay, so that's similar to like a Snapchat, where you can only record a couple second videos or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, Instagram stories, exactly. And I believe it's similar to Snapchat, whereas I think after 24 hours they delete it or something like that. So it's timed as well.
Okay.
So they came out with IGTV, which then you can have videos stay permanently and longer. I'm not sure how many you can have on your account, but at a time. But
that's
go ahead.
It's pretty interesting, because I really got to start getting into Instagram, because it's such a good tool to have, and I never use it.
Instagram is blowing up, and it's blowing up quickly, and it's becoming a very powerful and effective way to market your business. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a guy I follow on YouTube. I think his name's Josue Pena. Sorry if I'm butchering your name there, but he has a social media marketing agency. So he has a business, and all he does is help people with Instagram. That's his whole business, is just, I help you develop your Instagram. And in about a year, he's grown his business to about $100,000 a month.
Jesus.
I mean, just Instagram. That's all he does. It's absolutely amazing.
He makes more in a month what most people make in a year. So.
Oh yeah. And he, I mean, if you go watch his videos, he's like, it was easy. It wasn't hard to do. Because people, the beauty of social media is people don't know how to use it. They don't. So if you have that skill, and you can really help businesses out. So sorry, we kind of veered off here a little bit, but yeah, going back to video, it's very, very powerful. People love watching videos. I mean, I can spend hours on YouTube. I really can. I mean, they've got a list of videos for everybody's interests.
Oh yeah, that's always what I do, is I turn on the Google Chromecast, put on a YouTube video, and fall asleep to it at night. So
that's right. Yeah. I've woken up with like my phone on my chest, like YouTube video still playing.
Yeah. Fair enough. And so that's going to bring us into our next point, I think, here. Was there something else you wanted to touch on there?
Yeah, I'm only halfway.
Oh, geez.
Okay. So anyways, going on to my next point. So yeah, you can use your cell phone to record. I mean, one of my mentors, multi-million-dollar entrepreneur Ty Lopez, he uses his iPhone. He creates all these videos. He's teaching people, how to start a business or whatever it is that he, or just how to have a business or entrepreneur mentality. Creates so much value through his videos, and he's become an absolute success and actually a social media guru, I guess. I don't really like to use the word, I guess, but he's been amazing at social media. So it's simple. You can just use your cell phone to create video, and then you just upload it. One way to use video for your business is to consider sharing an authentic behind the scenes look at your life. So people love reality TV, right? It's huge. And if you're giving people a view of what you're doing on a Saturday, if you're doing something interesting, or if you're going out golfing and you're just kind of like, hey, look, check out this view, and you're in this beautiful golf course or something like that, people love that. Excuse me. People love seeing what you're doing. They I don't know what it is, but people love to sit down and watch other people live.
That's true. And it's believe it or not, it's an effective way of monetizing your business as well. Your life can be monetized. If you look at it like that, keeping up with the Kardashians, that's how they got big. Just sharing their life.
Exactly. It's brilliant. And it's funny, going back to Ty Lopez, he gives Kardashian so much credit because they took that concept and then they've made so much money based off of it. And then also, like, you look at or is it not Chloe? What's her name? The one with the makeup line. Sorry, I don't know their name.
I don't know.
I don't keep up with the Kardashians. Sorry.
Yeah, I am not keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah. But one of them, I think, is the youngest one. Sorry, I can't remember her name, but she has a very successful makeup line, and she's done, in probably a few years or maybe 5 or 6 years, what it took like big companies like Mac decades to do. Maybe decades, to do, right? So it's huge. People love reality TV. So yeah, if you're not using videos on social media, you run the
cut in
risk.
there.
Yep.
If for anybody wondering, I think it's Kylie Jenner. I just Googled
Kylie Jenner. That's right. There you go. Thank you. And I knew that, I just couldn't come up with it. But so if you're not using videos on your social media, you run the risk of your customers becoming unengaged. There's only so many pictures or, whatever that people can look at, but people love video. And that's one of the reasons me and Marco, our first podcasts were just audio, right? But we're like, people love even though the video is just us sitting here talking, but people like to see who's talking and they like to see their facial expressions and look at the person in the eye. Ty Lopez always says, make sure people can see the white in your eyes, and then you're close enough to the camera and you're engaged, right? Or the white in your teeth, right? Like, kind of thing. So a little video trick he always teaches, but it's
now you got me wondering. I'm like, am I good?
I'm checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the yellow, whatever.
Sure. Oh boy.
So that's it for video, and point number 2 for me.
Okay, right on. So you had a pretty good tie into this next point, and this next point is about building brand awareness by using targeted influencers on social media for your products. And basically what that means is just you go out and find somebody, and usually, if they have a big following on, say, Instagram, I think that's one of the most popular ones that influencer marketing happens on now is Instagram. But if somebody has a huge following, usually they'll take like a commission or a chunk of money from you to promote your product. And the impact that has is huge, because as we just talked about, Kylie Jenner, Kylie Jenner has her own makeup line. And do you think it's successful because it's just because she went out there and threw it? It's her name, right? Like, she's an influencer. So
absolutely, she's probably got, sorry to mean to cut you up, but she's probably got tens of millions followers, like, on Instagram alone.
Yeah. Could you imagine if she promoted your product?
So imagine having a reach of about 10 million people or whatever it is. I don't know the exact number, but that's pretty huge.
Yeah. And so I think, I think there was a study here that I'm trying to find the note here. So the study showed that 22% of marketers surveyed already considered influence marketing as the most cost-effective way of gaining new customers. So that's pretty huge, because, I mean, when it comes to business, it's all about the money, right? You want the best bang for your buck. So 22% of marketers are already saying that's the most cost-effective way of doing it. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. It like you said, these influencers already have that following. They have that huge following. So it's just like, it's putting your business in front of thousands, hundreds, thousands, or even millions of eyes. And usually, because when you look for an influencer, you find an influencer that's in your niche, right? Like, that's the same interests as you are, like, as what you're offering in your business. And then, so it's already people that are interested in what you do are looking at it. It's not just anybody. So it's not just, if you had a makeup line and you reached out to Kylie Jenner and said, hey, I've got, can you feature me on your page for this or that, or my makeup line? You're not just reaching random people, you're reaching people that are interested in makeup. So they're already engaged. They're already a warm, customer, I guess you can call it, right? So, or warm audience.
Yeah, that's a good point too, is you want to target those people that are going to be interested. It's no point in promoting, female products to men's health or something,
Exactly. And again, it goes back to even the advertising. It's how social media is amazing at how targeted you can be. You're targeting the right people. You're not just, when you do like the classic forms of marketing, like TV commercials or billboards. I mean, you're throwing a commercial out there and you're throwing it to millions of random people. You don't know who's interested. You're hoping it's going to grab. Some people are going to see it. You know what I mean? So social media, it's targeted right to those people.
That's perfect.
So yeah, so the number 4 reason is to provide, way to grow your business through social media is to provide massive amounts of value. And me and Marco have talked about this many, many times before. This is like, I feel like we repeat this point all the time, but with the reason we repeat it is because it's so valuable in itself. I mean, by providing him massive amounts of value, and not asking, and that's before asking for anything in return. So you're not selling anything. So don't forget, customers hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. And I think Marco has said this saying multiple times before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a true saying. They hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. And if you sit down and just think about that, it's kind of, ironic, right? I mean, I don't want to be sold to, but I want to be the one to make the decision to buy it. I don't want you to tell me I need to buy it.
Yeah. Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tell me what I'm going to need to live it, but don't tell me how to live it.
Right. Yeah. And so one, surefire way to have your customers line up to do that is to provide a massive amount of free value before asking for a sale. And that's what we try to do with our with our podcast, right? I mean, our podcast is us sharing as much value as we can with you guys, throughout our journey, our online business journey, and everything that we learn. And basically, as we learn it, we talk about it, and provide that value to you guys. And then, we earn that trust. And then when you earn that trust, then you guys feel more comfortable maybe buying a product from us or buying an online course or whatever we have to offer, because you already follow us. And I'm guilty for that. Like, I've bought courses from people that I follow on YouTube because I've watched so many of their YouTube videos, and I'm like, okay, I mean, they provide so much value, I've got to take a course, right? Like
and that's exactly how, going back to the point 3, there's how all these influencers did it. That's how they became an influencer, is by being able to provide this value for people. I mean, you look up any influencer in your niche, and I bet you they'll have limitless pages or websites or books or anything of value that you can get. So it's very crucial step.
Exactly. That's a great point, Marco. I mean, that's exactly how they become influencers. Absolutely. They provide all that value, and it's through Instagram, and people love it, and they want more of it. And then they follow them, and then they gain millions of followers. Gary Vaynerchuk, author of Jab, 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 Right Hook. I absolutely love that title. He wrote a book that explains exactly what this is. It's, how to provide free value content to your audience on social media to build trust and entice visitors to buy. So, as much as it doesn't sound right. I mean, by providing free value, you're going to create customers. People are going to want to buy your product. And then so it's basically about providing content that solves their problems. So it's not just, we're a business podcast, and we're not going to go and start talking to you about how to change your brakes. I mean, yes, that's valuable information, or how to change a tire, but it's not relative, and it doesn't solve our listeners' problems. So our listeners' problems are business. We have people that own businesses or want to start businesses listen to our podcast. So that's why we provide problem-solving content to people who are business related, right? So you'll quickly build a pool of loyal fans if you do that, and again, maybe yourself become an influencer over time.
Yeah, and just to add on to those points, like you said, Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, and love that title, as you said. Yeah. It's a good title. But to build that audience on social media, and why do you think? Yeah, don't think that's his free book. I think he's selling that
No,
But
that's yeah, it's a cover. It's a hardcover book. Like it's
look at the irony in that. It's teaching people to provide free value to get things or to build a following, and he's selling that information because he's already done that in the past. And
that's right. There you
it's
go.
selling. Don't get us wrong here. It's selling like mad.
Exactly. That he's the perfect example. He provide, his what he does is he provides every day so much value through his podcast, through his videos, and even through, like he does, events and all that stuff. So much free value, but then now people are like, well, I want to learn more about that value. I'm going to buy his book. That's a perfect example. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, even another one of our mentors, and I just popped in my head now. I remember listening to one of his earlier podcasts because I started his podcast from episode 1, and I remember he was talking about his story, his background story, and basically he was providing this free value, and somebody had actually emailed him saying, why aren't you selling this stuff? Like, I would buy it from you. Somebody had emailed him telling
That's
him
right.
that they wanted to buy the stuff he was giving out for free.
That's right. I don't think he even had plans to write this book or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he had no plans until that one person emailed him and said, really, there's an audience out there that's going to pay for this information that I'm giving away for free?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And they will. They will.
That's true. Like, how awesome would that be that you're just giving away this information for free, and now people are coming to you because they want to buy. You don't even have to go to them.
Exactly. It's brilliant. It's actually absolutely genius.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think we're going to head on to our final point here, number 5, which is use social media to tell your brand story and successfully differentiate yourself from the competition. And we just talked about this with Pat Flynn, how he kind of, he told a little bit of his story on his podcast. But the thing is, people love a good success story. It could be anything. When you're sharing, you can separate your life from your business and still share, because people love to know about the person behind the business. They don't want to just know about the business. If you can build that personal connection, they'll swarm to you for that business.
You're absolutely right. You hit it right right on the head of the nail there when you said personal. People like personal stories. I mean, people relate to people, right?
Exactly. If your best friend comes up to sell you something like a pen or whatever, what are the odds you're going to buy from them versus some guy on a street market if they're selling the same pen? Who are you more likely to buy from, and why? It's because of that personal connection, right?
Exactly. It goes down to building that trust again. We always talk about providing we kind of tie all these points kind of tie into each other. And going back to my last point where it says by providing value, people trust you. Well, this is another fantastic way of getting people to trust you.
Yeah. I mean, be an open book. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people say, I don't know what to talk about. I don't have a story. I mean, everybody's got some kind of story. You just got to create it. There's something there for everybody that will tug on the heartstrings, Every single human being makes a decision based on emotion, and they justify it with logic, So, I mean, if you don't think you have a story, just reflect on it for a bit, and I bet you can come up with something. Look up on like YouTube what people are sharing and see like there's an audience for practically everything.
Exactly. I mean, an example would be, and I've heard this example somewhere and I can't remember where, but it would be like, if you owned a pizza shop and, if the reason, you own this pizza shop is because, 2 years ago you came from Italy and your grandma made the best pizza in Italy and you wanted to pass on her recipe. And so you came to America or you came to Canada and you started this restaurant and this is your grandma's recipe or whatever. I mean, that story, people would be like, wow, that's amazing. I got to try this pizza, right? I want to try what his grandma's pizza tastes like. And right there, boom, you gain customers. It's effective. It's really, really effective.
Yeah, true. That's all there is to it. Just create that personal connection and watch your business explode because of it.
Exactly. So those are the 5 ways to use social media to grow your business. There's a lot of different ways, but I find, those are probably one of the most effective ways to do it. They, like we said, they kind of tie into each other a little bit, but if you're not doing, most of these, at least 4 out of the 5, you're missing out. You're probably leaving tons of customers on the table, especially if you're not. I can't believe it. I've gone through businesses, just kind of doing business research. And some people are not even on Facebook. Some businesses, not even on Facebook. It's like, what are you doing? You know how many people, how many eyes your business is not appearing in front of? You know what I mean? It just amazes me.
It's kind of weird how many people are still stuck in the traditional methods, like the flyers and the business cards.
Yeah.
I mean, they work, but it's just not as effective as the way things are going now.
It's moving in that direction, right?
Everything changes, and we get more effective ways of doing everything, and social media is definitely one of the ways to do it.
It totally is. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. As usual, if you love the content, and we'll be bringing you more. We apologize we missed last week, but we promise you, we'll try our best to continue our weekly podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, follow, do whatever, whatever platform you're on, follow us, leave a comment, especially, if you're on YouTube and you're utilizing any of these methods, or if you have some methods of your own that you want to share, leave them down in the comments.
Yeah, even email us. We appreciate the emails. Ask us any questions you got. Let us know any ideas or anything. And once again, thanks.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Project Podcast. Visit our website at thewealthprojectpodcast.com. See you next episode.